I think there's a better way. Two things. One, you gotta figure out, you gotta ask yourself, like, what am I paying? Who am I paying it for? And what am I paying it with? Okay. So what are we paying? Well, we're paying, I mentioned rent and car notes and stuff like that. Remember, paying a mortgage is much more beneficial than paying rent. So that means that we've had an educational process where when we are spending money, and paying for things, we're paying for ownership. We're owning things. We're owning stock. We're owning real estate. We're owning a business. We're doing all these things because they're going to not just help us pay bills, but also put us in a position where our money's working for us. That's the first thing. So there's the educational component. But then there's that secondary component of saying, okay, we know that dad was paying a whole lot of bills and he wasn't just, daddy, he might have been married to mama for 30 years, but he wasn't financially monogamous. He was a financial polygamist. He was a financial polygamist because he wasn't just taking care of his wife and children with the money he was spending. He was also taking care of the wife and children of the landlord for 30 years. When he paid $1,000, $2,000 a month for rent on time every month, he literally bought two mansions for the landlord. He bought them $1 million worth of property because when they invest that money that he's giving them, they're buying property with that money, and that property is appreciated in value. He's not just taking care of his own wife and kids, he's taking care of the wife and kids of the car dealer. The car dealer is taking that $400, $500 a month car note. And as you all know, if you invest $450 a month in the S&P 500, which is what the car dealer probably did, after about, let me see, after about 30 years, it becomes something like $750,000 that's in the pockets of the other family that isn't in the pocket of his daughter, because if his daughter had $750,000 in her backpack with the money, she wouldn't that rent and car note and all that wouldn't even be that heavy. It's not hard to pay $2,000 a month worth of bills if you've got $250,000 in your bank account. You see what I mean? So what I'm saying is you gotta commit to thinking different when it comes to your economic preparation. We've got to get out of this model of believing that being black means that you're born to suffer. We got to get out of this model of believing that because we got it out of the mud. The kids have to get it out of the mud too. You got it out of the mud so they don't have to get it out of the mud. You suffered so they don't have to suffer. They're going to have other problems. Let them have white people problems, or let them have rich people problems instead of having broke people problems. If you have broke people problems, you don't even have time to think about the other problems because all you're thinking about is how to not be broke and how to pay bills. So next thing you know, you're singing Beyonce songs because you're picking your partners in life and the people in your life based on how much money they have. And in worst case scenario, your daughter ends up at a Diddy party because she's broke and has dreams of actually having money and having comfort. And rather than daddy helping her get the soft life, Diddy is helping her get the soft life.